Welcome to another video. I picked up a lot of used decking behind me. I'm going to attempt to make a small pond. Well, I guess I've already made the pond because you guys are watching the video. I haven't yet seen the pond. I hope it goes okay. This is how I'm going to do it. I have no real plan other than a 2-level pond with flowing water. I've put a stopper on the other end so I can make sure all the pieces are cut exactly the same. So here's the current situation. I'm going to go all around the outside with the decking. Then I'm going to come inside and double wall the area. And then this little area here is going to be for the pump. Here's where we're at so far. I just need to do one more layer there. And then now I'm going to work on the inside to double wall. So we can see I've started here. I've got one more to do across there. And then we're going to go up that side. I'm going to have a post there. And you can see how I've done this side. And we're going to build up here. Here we are with the finished article. So as you can see, I've done the outside first. Then I've come up the inside, as these pieces have to be done before these pieces, and then I've come up in the middle. As I say, I've double walled it. Whether that's going to make any difference, I think it'll give it a bit more strength. Next, to do the top. So I found a couple of old cement ridden 8x2s, which is going to work perfect for the base of the next level. I've cut my base for the top. I've put some sides on. What I've done is I've overlapped the sides. Base complete. Now I need to find a good place in the garden to put it. Next step then is to build up the top layer. So I've cut the 4 sides for the base. I've just cheated a little bit, cut a square out there, and I've done the same on the other side. For the waterfall feature, I've had this piece of metal for a couple of years and it's been outside all that time. It's never rusted. No idea what metal it is, but I'm going to cut this to size and then heat it up and shape it and then see how that goes. Line scored, time to cut. Piece has been cut. I did try it with the disc cutter, but it didn't go so well, so I used the chop saw and it went much faster. Now I'm going to try and 5 centimeters in on both sides, heat it up and try and bend it. Got a piece of wood underneath it to bend it on the line that I need to, and I've clamped it there. And I've also got a piece of wood in between the metal so I don't melt the clamp. I'm there banging away with a hammer and a blowtorch when right there I've got a vise, and just put it in the vise and bend. This is the top section. I've pre-drilled the holes and screws into the waterfall. I've cut out with a jigsaw. This will fit into there and onto there. So I've made sure it's in the center of this piece. So I'm going to get this piece lined up. There we go, that's nice and tight. Now I'm just going to finish the top and then work out how I'm going to put the liner on the inside. The top is now finished. My thinking is there's not going to be as much water, so there's not going to be as much pressure, so I don't need to double wall this. I'm hoping I'm right. I'm gonna flatten these edges down, then I'll sand it all down. This is now fixed in place. Put the screws on the front and on the side. Because I'm using different types of decking, different thicknesses, different heights, then I'll just take the edges off with a jigsaw, and once it's painted and sanded down, it'll look good as new. Here's what I'm using for the bottom. Some play sand, also an old paddling pool, and my old man had a piece of, or leftover piece of pond liner. It's got some mouse holes in it, but the mouse holes are just on the outside and we'll cut them off. So far I've only bought a box of screws. Sand goes around the edges, sand on the bottom. I've no idea if that's enough sand. The sand, I believe, goes in the corners to stop anything from getting stuck or jammed into the corners. Carpet goes around the edges, softens the edge. The good thing is the sun's been on it, so it's made it nice and supple. So I folded the corners in, so we've got flat faces. I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments if that's right or wrong. I'm just going to put a couple of these felt nails just around the edges to secure it in place, and then I'll cut it off. Just go around the edges and cut off the excess. Just before I put the pond liner in for the second level, I've just thrown in all the offcuts and the bits just to protect the pond liner that I'm going to put in, just for any splinters or anything that's going to potentially come from the wood when the water goes in. So I'm pushing the pond liner down very carefully just to make sure I don't dislodge any of these, and then we'll get some water in it, and that'll be our natural weight. Find out if it's not going to leak. After switching on the unit, what I did notice is that this wasn't quite angled enough, and the water was going down and dripping down the back, even though I had this over the top. So I've taken these screws out here, and now what I'm going to do is just put a piece of sealant just to stop any water that might come backwards, but taking out those screws, it has made this just more of an angle. So I've put that sealant at the back there, and I think what I'm going to do is just fold this liner over the top and hopefully it'll squeeze together. So far the only thing that I've spent on this pond is screws. The decking was all from somebody that had said they've got some decking that they want to get rid of, so I went and picked it up. The top of the pond was from a paddling pool. My old man had some pond liner, some spare pond liner. A piece of metal, as I said, was some metal I found in the garden. So the only thing I need to buy really is the pump, which I bought this from Waterways Garden Centre in Wrexham. I'll put a link in the description below what this pump is and also where I bought it from. As well as that, I need to buy some hose. So with that and that together, I'm going to attempt to get it all set up and get the water flowing. Of course, the audio failed on this section, but I was just explaining how I didn't realise the pump came with no plug, so I had to fit a 3-pin plug on the end of the pump, and then I needed to drill a hole into the side of the pond in order to fit the pump, or rather the pipe, to come through the back of the pond. And then I made the top section, so I just cut them at 45-degree angles and then placed them on the top of the pond just to finish it all off. I put a notch in the top piece of the decking using the glue feature on the microscope. That should hide the pipe nicely. The pipe comes through there, up the back and into the top. We all went down to the local river to collect a few stones. And there it is, finished. Stones from the river. Pump from waterways. Have a few guests which have arrived. If you can really see that there, tadpoles. The tadpoles we got from my mother's pond. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked that video, leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.